Hey, Pretty Girl Club. Welcome back to the Beluga series. You guys really like the Beluga series. If you are a binge watcher of my content, be sure to join the Patreon. But today I'm going to talk about how to get in the fall mood without being a beluga. So this is part two. You're fat because you eat while you're cooking. That is something that I've seen from a lot of women who they like to cook more in the fall or like it's Thanksgiving or something. If you're snacking while you're cooking, those still count as calories. Just because it's a small bite doesn't mean that it's 0 calories. So a lot of people, they're becoming belugas just because they're taking a bite here and there. When they're stirring the cake batter, they lick the spoon or they're licking the bowl. If you're licking the bowl after you bake something, that's a good, I would say 500 calories minimum. And it's mainly sugar, fat, and butter that you're licking off the bowl. So women are wondering why they're not in a calorie deficit. And it's because, number one, they're not counting all their calories. And they think that because it's just a small bite, that it's not a big deal. Number two, you're fat because you eat out of the box or out of a package. So I saw some content creators, these were just random vloggers, and they were kind of like hanging out with their friends and they were cooking. And I saw one of the girls, she just kept picking at the box. She was just eating bites out of the pizza box, taking bites out of the M&Ms, taking some stuff out of the candy bowl. So anytime I eat something, I portion control it. No, I do not eat chips directly out of the bag. I don't care how small the bag is. I don't care if it's a tiny bag of Doritos. I don't care if it's a small thing of M&Ms. I always take it out and I portion control it. And then I put it on a dainty little plate. I put it on a cute little pink plate. And then I will eat at the table. I do not eat in my room. I don't eat on my bed. I don't eat while I'm watching movies. That was actually one of the biggest triggers for me when I was a beluga, especially during fall. By the way, I love watching like Hocus Pocus, Twitches. So those movies in particular, whenever I turn on my favorite movie, that's what gets me in a snacking mood. I don't do that anymore. I'm skinny now. So just because I'm watching a movie, it doesn't mean I have to eat during the movie. Another thing I'll do is instead of having the snack, I will replace the snack with a drink. So instead of having like apple pie, because it's fall, I will have like an apple cinnamon herbal tea. I can have, a cinnamon nutmeg apple cider that's sugar free. So that's how I replace it, but I'm still getting in the fall mood. So I'm not missing out. A lot of people are fat because of FOMO. They fall for the pumpkin propaganda, myself included. I am guilty. I love the fall. Anything that says pumpkin on it, I am more likely to buy it. Even if it tastes nasty. I don't even care for pumpkin that much. Pumpkin doesn't really have that much of a flavor. But a lot of people are becoming belugas because they're falling for the propaganda. They're trying to figure out a way to celebrate the season. And it's like, there are other ways that I can lift my mood without using food, because if you're using food as a celebration, that's still a form of emotional eating. Because what you're saying is, oh, I want to be festive, so, let me just get all these snacks. I want to get into a festive mood. And it's like, if I want to get into a festive mood, I can wear some pumpkin earrings. You know, those little fun earrings that a lot of teachers wear and stuff. It's like, I can wear a spooky t-shirt. I can wear some pumpkin earrings or jewelry. I can paint my nails, a fall themed manicure. Those are other ways that I get into kind of this festive fall vibe without having to eat every pumpkin in sight. And by the way, pumpkin in and of itself is actually not bad. Pumpkin is still a vegetable. It still is not, it's not super high calorie, but where people mess up is they put the pumpkin in with a whole bunch of sugars and butters and maple. You guys, I love the fall themed. All the fall flavors are like some of my favorite flavors: maple, cinnamon, nutmeg, pumpkin, apple. I love like caramel. All of those vibes, butterscotch, s'mores flavor, marshmallow flavor, anything toasted. Like, have you ever had the toasted s'mores flavored lattes and stuff? So sometimes what's really getting you is just the name of the item. A lot of times those lattes, they don't even really taste like that. It doesn't really taste like marshmallow. They're just tricking you. They're getting you to purchase it because it has a fancy name. Oh, you're getting a super s'mores double chocolate quad espresso with whipped cream, and it's got a little bit of apple flavoring in there too. So you're falling for the propaganda. So they're naming all of these different fruits and vegetables and sweets that remind you of the season, and it's causing you to want to purchase it. So the way that I get over that is by, number one, I can get a sugar-free version of the syrups. So if you drink coffee and if you drink tea, by the way, if you don't like tea, one of the ways you can train yourself to like tea, just do a 0 calorie sweetener. You can do like stevia, there's Truvia, whichever one like resonates with you. I prefer a lot of the syrups. They have 0 calorie caramel syrup, 0 calorie hazelnut, chocolate, vanilla. So there's no reason why your 0 calorie drinks should be tasting bad. There's no reason why your black coffee should be tasting bad. Like they have so many alternatives that can help you to kind of lower the calories and to lower that sugar addiction. One of the main reasons people become refrigerators during the fall is because they're feeding their sugar addiction. They go into work and then they have bowls of candy at work. If there's a bowl of candy in the lunchroom and it has all of your biggest temptations in there, like Snickers and Twix, those are my temptations, well, then I'm not going to go in there. I'm going to walk right past that break room. I'm not going to go to the area where I know I'm going to be tempted. A lot of people are setting themselves up for failure. Like, why would I go and sit in the room for 30 minutes staring at the bowl of candy if I know that it's going to be tempting and triggering? No, how about I take my break somewhere else where I'm not constantly looking at food? Because that's a part of how companies sell you, by the way. There's a reason why they put candy in bright packaging. Look at the Reese's. Reese's used to be my favorite candy, but look at the Reese's packaging. It's this bright orange packaging. Look at the way they package candy. It's always bright colors. It's so it can draw your eye to it. It's so it stands out. If you walk in the airport, they have all these bright lights. You know, if you're walking in the mall in the food court, they have all these bright lights and the signs with like giant pictures of a milkshake on it. They're doing that on purpose. They are trying to trigger you into thinking you're hungry when you're not. So if I want to get in the fall mood, I try to have my own healthy grab and go snacks. Some of you guys are belugas because you didn't meal prep, you didn't prepare. You don't have your own version of a pumpkin spice latte at home, so it's a scarcity mindset. That's why when you go to the coffee shop, you're like, "Oh, I have to get this pumpkin spice," because you don't get pumpkin at home. So it's like you turned your pantry into this prison where you've banned yourself from having anything that tastes good. Just because it's healthy doesn't mean it tastes bad. That's another misconception that a lot of belugas will try to give you. That's propaganda. Like, oh, if it's healthy, it tastes bad, or if it's sugar free, it tastes bad, or it's bad for your brain. That's what they'll try to say about like Splenda and aspartame and stuff. They'll be like, oh well, all of those sugar free sweeteners, those are unhealthy for you. And it's like, ma'am, you literally have spent the last 40 years eating red dye number 5. You literally eat poison for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and now you have the audacity to try to say that stevia is unhealthy? Do you see the fake outrage? It's like you don't have any smoke when it comes to all the processed foods you eat every morning. You're over here eating Pop-Tarts and shit every single morning. And then you have the audacity to say, oh, well, sugar-free sweeteners are bad. Ma'am, just say you want to be fat and move on. I mean, if you want to be built like a semi-truck, that's fine. But some of us want to be thin. So when it comes to the sweeteners, I try to make sure every season that I have my main flavors. I try to do my grocery shopping and revolve it around whatever season it is. So if it's fall, I will get butternut squash, the frozen one. That's like, you can have that as a side. You can have that as your side dish. Kind of like these harvest vegetables. So the butternut squash, the pumpkin, rosemary is another seasoning. It's another herb that reminds me of like Thanksgiving. I love rosemary, by the way. That's one of my favorites. But I do meal prepping. So what I will do is I prep my oatmeal, my overnight oats. That's what I've been eating lately because I've been seeing a nutritionist. So she was telling me to try that. By the way, oats help you to curb your cravings. If you want to do overnight oats, all you have to do is 1/4 of a cup of oats, just 1/4 of a cup, because it's only about 100 or so calories. It's about 180 or so calories. Do not do 2 or 3 cups of oats in one thing of overnight oats. That's why you're gaining weight. That's why Ice Spice says that she's thick because she's eating oats. Well, she's eating a high dose of oats. You're not supposed to you're not supposed to eat a giant thing. You don't eat a gallon of oats in one day. So when I'm doing overnight oats, I just do 1/4 of a cup, and then I do maybe a couple tablespoons of like either Greek yogurt, or if I have a protein shake, I will put that liquid in there instead of water. And if you don't want to just do water, or if you don't want to do milk, because I don't like milk, so I'll do like protein shakes that are plant-based, and that's how I put the liquid in there. Or I will mix my own protein shake with like whey protein. So I will blend up my protein shake and I'm pouring that into my overnight oats. So now I'm already getting a source of fiber, I'm getting a source of protein, and then I can do a little bit of the fun toppings. So if I want a couple tablespoons of Nutella or just 1 tablespoon, I can do that. I can do like the fruits and all that, like bananas. So that's another way. Oh, pumpkin puree. I've been putting that in my overnight oats too, just a couple tablespoons. That's one of the ways that I get into the fall mood and I stay in a deficit. I try to prep my stuff ahead of time. A lot of people are fat because they're trying to eat for convenience. And then they don't want to spend the money. They're like, oh, I don't feel like cutting up fruit. I don't feel like cutting up an apple. Well, it's because you should have cut up the apple last night and packed it in a Ziploc bag and put it in your lunchbox. Remember how I talked about reparenting yourself? As an adult, I talked about how a lot of people are big because it's a bad coping mechanism, eating their feelings, eating all this food, because they don't know how to remother themselves. So a lot of women, maybe they didn't grow up with their mother or father packing them a healthy lunch, kind of showing that they cared about their health. Okay, well, you're an adult, so it's time to learn to reparent yourself. So before you go to work, take out your cute little lunch pail. I used to have a pink polka dot lunch pail. So I would take out my polka dot lunch pail. I did most of my meal prepping in mason jars. So that's very easy. Most people have mason jars in their apartment and it's made of glass. So you can heat it up. Like I used to do soup sometimes, like my own homemade soup. Occasionally I would do like some noodles. I don't really eat a lot of noodles anymore. I would put vegetables in there. There are so many things you can put in there. But right now I'm putting my overnight pumpkin oats in there. So that's a good grab and go snack that's more balanced because you're having fiber, there's fruit in it, and then you've got a little bit of a sweet treat in there because you put a tablespoon of Nutella or a tablespoon of pumpkin butter or you put a tablespoon of maple syrup. So you're still satisfying the sweet tooth, but you're not going overboard. You're not eating 5 and 6 packs of processed oats in one day. And that's another thing. People will be like, oh, well, I can't just have 1/4 of a cup of oats because that's not going to fill me up. Did you try? You didn't even try to do it. So you're talking out the side of your neck. They'll be like, oh, well, that's not enough calories for me. Ma'am, you haven't been in a calorie deficit since 1995. So you don't know how hungry you're going to be. So a lot of people, they stay belugas because they assume that if they eat a smaller size, they're not going to have energy or they're going to pass out. And they'll be like, oh, well, I have to work. I don't want to pass out at work. Bitch, I would be happy if I passed out at work. Some of the bitch ass jobs that I've worked, I would have loved to have passed out. Then I can sue the job. I can try to sue the company. I can get a free day off. So why would I be scared of not having energy at work? Or, oh, I'm going to pass out. And also they're being over dramatic. They're living in fear. They think that if they don't stuff their face with thousands of calories, that their whole body is going to shut down. If your body shuts down because you didn't eat for 2 hours, your body was already messed up. But something else I will do to get into the fall mood is redecorating my apartment. So that could be doing my own little arts and crafts night. Some of you guys like painting. You can paint some fall themed pictures. You can go get a canvas from like one of those art stores. Go to the craft store, get a blank canvas, get some paint, and you can paint it like orange or all these pretty colors. You can go over to Home Goods or what's that one store called? Hobby Lobby. You can go to places like that, get your fall decorations. That's a way to get festive without feeling like you have to eat. Okay, so something else I will do too is going on a walk. I love going on hikes. You guys know I'm obsessed with like hiking and mountains and hills, and I'm obsessed with that kind of stuff. So I love going on a beautiful trail, especially if there are a lot of trees, and then just looking at all the leaves and, you know, walking up the side where they have like the rocks and everything. That's a great way to get into the fall mood. If you are a content creator, you can change your visuals on your channel to match a fall theme. Actually, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will show kind of like fall themed images for this video, like from Pinterest. So that's something you can do. Change up your imagery. That's going to get you into the mood. Also, I like to scroll on Pinterest too. So one thing that I like to do is I will go to a coffee shop. So if I'm working, you guys know I work for myself, so I'm working remotely. But every once in a while, I will go to a coffee shop. And then I will just, on my break, I give myself a break, and so I will scroll Pinterest. And I will just look up like fall manicures, fall themed aesthetic. And that gets me in a festive mood without having to eat. So I'm still looking at these images. My brain is still getting the happy signal. I'm still getting like those, the little endorphins, the little dopamine hit because I'm looking at all the pretty pictures. Another thing you can do, you can read the Harry Potter books. That's another way to get your mind off food. You can, by the way, side note, I've never read the Harry Potter books. I've never seen the Harry Potter movies. I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was growing up, and I just never got around to it. But something else that gets me in the fall mood besides eating is every once in a while, I will go to Marshall's or TJ Maxx or Ross, one of those stores, and I will get the cheap mugs. You know, the little coffee mugs that have like pumpkins on them. I will get those. I used to bring those to work and just keep those in the cabinet. So I'm still in a festive mood because I'm drinking my water out of a cute little fall themed mug. So do you see how I have all these other forms of happiness and being festive other than just food? Because what really gets you in the festive mood for fall, it's really the colors, right? It's orange, it's brown. So why don't you put on an orange eyeshadow? Yesterday, I actually did like I did like this gold, copper, bronze, smoky eye just for fun, just to go to the grocery store. Yep, sure did. Because I'm not waiting to use all my makeup. That's another thing too. A lot of people, they feel like, oh no, that's doing too much. Putting on orange eyeshadow or putting on an orange lipstick, that's doing too much. It's not that serious. I'm just going to work. Okay, that mindset, that's exactly why you're fat. Because you think that going the extra mile is doing too much. You think that doing anything where you're planning ahead or drawing attention to yourself is doing too much. You're not doing too much. That's a way to get into a fall mood without having to eat food. Put on some orange eyeshadow, practice your little smoky eye, practice doing your little lipstick or matching your nails. You know how they have like the little nail rhinestones and stuff? Put an orange rhinestone on your nail. Or you can do, when I was looking on Pinterest, I saw they have plaid. You can actually do like plaid, you know, the design, like the plaid skirts. People were doing that on their nails. So that's a great way to that's going to take, I can't do that. So if I were to try to do a plaid manicure, that's going to take me like over an hour anyway. So that's already an hour that I won't be eating because I'll be looking up how to do this plaid themed manicure. So the thing about skinny people is we think about other stuff other than food. So for example, when I wake up in the morning, I'm not thinking about food. I'm thinking about getting my steps in because that's what I do when I first wake up. I get some steps in, I brew my coffee, I make notes for YouTube. So it's kind of like you're decentering food. Skinny people have decentered food. A lot of people are fat because they put food on a pedestal. They put pumpkins on a pedestal. You put s'mores and cinnamon and apples and nutmeg on a pedestal. And it's like, no, I want to put myself on the pedestal. I want to put my mental health on a pedestal. So it's not worth eating all the s'mores if it's going to make me gain a whole bunch of weight and then I have low self-esteem. That's not me thinking things through. That's not a good version of parenting myself. That's irresponsible. That's irresponsible self-parenting. So no, that's not going to be how I get in a festive mood. If anything, I will watch vlogs or you know how they have the screensavers where it's like a fireplace. So I will do stuff like that at home. So when I'm in the kitchen meal prepping, I might put on a random video of somebody else meal prepping and then they're making something that's pumpkin themed, or I might put on something where it shows scenery or it plays the sounds of the fireplace. Have you ever been on those YouTube channels where it has like certain sounds like fireplace sounds, sounds of the beach? So whatever it is that reminds you of fall. In some places it snows in the fall. So if you have like a screensaver where it shows like snow in the background or something, that's another good way to get into this fall mood, this fall and winter holiday spirit without overeating. You can change the background on your phone. I like to do that too. That's why I go on Pinterest. I will look up random images of like fall and then I will change the background on my phone. So now whenever I look at my phone, now I'm in a celebration mode. I didn't have to consume calories in order to feel like it's fall. Another thing I will do is I do not wear baggy, oversized sweaters or pants in the fall because no, why would I want to train my body to be bigger? No, I need to wear clothes that fit so that when I'm overeating, I can feel it because my jeans are getting tight. So I don't want to have a big ass burlap sack as my sweater because then I can get as bloated as I want. I can get as big as a house and then I can't feel it. So that's a disadvantage. I'm not doing that. So if I'm going to wear some fall themed clothing, like an orange sweater or, some pants or something, or like a little skirt, it's going to be something that fits me. I'm not going to be wearing something where it's super oversized. And a lot of people, they're into oversized clothes, and they won't admit that part of why they're obsessed with oversized clothes and stretchy clothes is because you can get fat. You can get fat with no accountability. Wearing clothes that fit, it's a form of accountability. Weighing myself every day is a form of accountability. Also, I don't know if you guys heard about the great lock-in, like they're talking about it on TikTok and on YouTube, and it's basically people who are trying to lock in for September through like December, and they're trying to get started on their New Year's resolutions right now. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't want to wait until January 1st to finally be like, okay, I'll lose the weight. No, I want to already be 30 pounds ahead, or, I'm already on my shit. I already have my routine. I'm already ahead of the game. We talk a lot about like social climbing on this channel, which is basically having the social life that you've always wanted to have, having the social status that you've always wanted to have, having the socioeconomic status that you've always wanted. So having a healthy body and a healthy brain, that contributes to that. Part of why I've been able to record so much content is because I recently changed my diet a little bit. I tweaked it to where now I'm including a little bit more healthy fats. So like avocado and stuff. I can literally feel the difference in my energy levels. It's getting rid of brain fog. Once you realize the benefits of eating healthy, you're not going to want to go back unless you're lazy. And that's why a lot of people stereotype beluga type women as being lazy. Well, it's because it is a form of laziness. It is lazy to only eat chips or to not get up off the couch for 2 hours because you don't want to walk 10 feet to get the remote. Yeah, that is absolutely lazy. I mean, what else are we supposed to call it? So another thing too is people will lie to you and they'll be like, oh, well, the outside doesn't matter. Nobody cares. They're not noticing that you're fat. Yes, they are. Yes, they can see your double chin. Yes, they notice that you're the biggest one in the pictures. Yes, they can see your stomach hanging out of your jeans. Yes, when you sit down, they can see your pants going down to your butt crack. They can see all of it. They're just not saying it. So I'm here to tell you the truth. Yes, they can see the acne breakouts that you had from having too much sugar. So a lot of us are staying mediocre because there's no one out there that wants to tell us the truth. And I'm not going to be mediocre. But number 5 is if you are going out and you find yourself stopping at gas stations and drive-thrus, that's because you did not have enough grab-and-go snacks packed at home. So whatever it is you're stopping for at the gas station, make that at home. So for me, it used to be Egg McMuffins. Usually it was breakfast where I was stopping at the gas station. 7-Eleven, I used to be obsessed with 7-Eleven. I still kind of am, honestly, but I don't have the app anymore. But I used to stop at 7-Eleven to get those little sandwiches or like all of their different types of waffles and stuff. So number 1, eating fast food is very high calorie. It's very processed. It's going to spike your blood sugar. It stops you from burning fat. There are hidden calories in it, but part of why you're stopping at gas stations is because you did not prepare at home. Why are you stopping to get the latte? Well, it's because you don't have latte ingredients at home. So go get some oat milk or whatever your latte order is. Go get the healthy version of that. Keep that in your fridge. A lavender latte, like in my case, usually it's some sort of lavender latte. And usually it's either coconut milk, maybe oat milk, if I'm in a latte mood. So get those ingredients, keep those at home. If you find yourself buying Egg McMuffins, they have healthier versions of that. You can get, they have different types of bread that is like lower calorie. It's a little bit healthier. The English muffin bread. Oh, the English muffins used to fuck me up back in the day. I used to love those. And then I would put like butter on it. Oh my gosh. Or like pesto. I would put pesto on it sometimes. So if you're a person that eats toast, toast is one of the number 1 things that made me gain weight. Just saying. I was toasting bread. I remember one time I had 6 pieces of toast in one day. And this is at work. And that was because I forgot my lunch. And then I had a loaf of bread. I randomly just had a loaf of bread at work, and then I had some butter in the fridge. So that day, because I didn't want to spend money because I was being cheap, I literally had 6 pieces of white bread with butter. So do you think that's a healthy way to eat? Do you think that was helping my body at all? It's like, no wonder I gained weight. I was just eating bread and butter 24/7. So if you're a toast person, you can find different alternatives of bread that are slightly healthier. You can find alternatives to butter, kind of a healthier version of the butter. So that's kind of how I solved that problem of overeating at work, or I was always stopping at the gas station. Find a healthier version and make it at home. So if you're always getting the Starbucks sandwiches, I used to always get those too, the little Starbucks egg McMuffin thingies. I started making that at home. I bought an egg cooker. You can get an egg cooker for like $20. And then you can literally create egg McMuffins at home. I think they have where you can buy just the egg on its own too, like the little circular eggs. I've never tried that. I'm not really a big fan of reheating eggs, but if you can stomach that, then go ahead and do it. But a lot of people are fat because they don't make their food at home. They don't make good food at home. They don't make their favorite foods at home. They don't figure out a way to make their most tempting foods on their own. And also, once you learn how to make it yourself, you're going to realize that your shit tastes better. Like In-N-Out Burger, that used to be one of my temptations. I learned how to make my own version of In-N-Out Burger. By the way, all you have to do is when you're grilling the meat, when you're making the beef, you put it in mustard. Like that's part of how they make it, or at least that's what I heard back then, is part of how they make the meat is they're putting mustard in the pan when they're like cooking it. So once I started making my own burgers like that, then I stopped going to In-N-Out because I was like, wow, the one that I make at home is better. But another way you can kind of get in the fall mood without eating food is, number one, recognize your trigger restaurants. Okay, what restaurants trigger you the most? For me, it's Starbucks. Um, it used to be Dunkin' Donuts. Fuck Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, Krispy Kreme is way better. Starbucks is way better. I'm sorry. I know you're probably from the East Coast watching this. Everybody on the East Coast loves Dunkin' Donuts. But no, what are your trigger restaurants? What restaurants stand out to you during the fall season? Because for me, it's Starbucks because I'm thinking of their signature pumpkin spice latte. I'm thinking of all their different pumpkin versions of coffee. So understand that all of your favorite restaurants and fast food places, they are changing their marketing right now. So it's just marketing. Your brain has been primed and trained to fall for the advertising. It's not that you're actually hungry. It's not that, oh, you're just so addicted to food. No, it's that you love that company. You like Starbucks. Why do you like Starbucks so much? Well, because you like the Starbucks culture. Like in my case, I like the Starbucks culture. I like how it's a little bit more bougie. I like how some people complain, oh, I can't afford Starbucks. Okay, cool. That makes me feel more bougie and rich then. So sometimes the company, they have branded themselves to make the consumer feel a certain emotion when they see the billboard, with the pumpkin spice thing on it. So what are your trigger restaurants? Is it Crumble Cookie? Is it the Krispy Kreme place? Is it Dunkin' Donuts? Is it 7-Eleven? Is it the gas station? Is it the grocery store? In my case, it has been the grocery store before, because sometimes they will do all their Christmas decorations in there, or they do like all these fall decorations, and then they put the pumpkin cookies right out there in the front, the cookies with the frosting on them that are in the shape of a pumpkin, or they put their gingerbread houses out there. Back when I was a beluga, I used to eat the entire gingerbread house. I used to make I wouldn't even build the house. You know the little haunted house that they have at Trader Joe's? They just got it, by the way, because I saw it the other day. I literally was such a beluga that I wouldn't even build the house. I would literally just put all the frosting on the cookies, and I would just eat it. So that's a beluga mindset. That's a form of falling for the marketing. So that was my way of getting festive, is purchasing a big ass gingerbread house by myself, and then just going home and basically pretending like I'm making a gingerbread house when in reality I'm just eating all the frosting out of the packages. So do you see the difference between eating like a beluga versus simply painting my nails orange? So either way, I'm still getting in this festive mood, but one of them is a healthier way to do it, and the other one is not a healthy way to do it. I don't have to pump my body with poison and sugar in order to feel like, oh, it's fall. But another way that I try to get into the fall mood is I will go to like a farmer's market. So instead of going to Starbucks, instead of going to Dunkin' Donuts or all these other shops, I can go to the farmer's market. I can go apple picking. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but like some cities and countries, depending on where you live, apple picking is a thing. So maybe like making a soup. That's a healthier version. So making a soup from scratch, and maybe I can put a little bit of that pumpkin flavor. They actually have at Trader Joe's, they have like this bisque. It's like a pumpkin bisque. I don't know if I'm saying it right, bisque or bisque. It's like a thin soup, but you can add vegetables to that. Now you've got your own kind of pumpkin squash flavored soup. So that's a healthier way to get into the fall mood. I will read a book. Sometimes I go on Book Talk or I go on BookTube and I just look up, like, okay, what are some of the most fun seasonal books? And then I will get the physical book because, that's kind of like, it gives me a way to get off of my phone screen. So I will like curl up and read a book. That is something that is very much giving fall. Go to a library. The libraries remind me of fall because school, like back to school, academics, anything in an academic setting kind of reminds me of fall. So I can go to a library, I can read a book, I can be on my laptop in the library. So then I'm still in this cozy type of mood. Journaling, that's another thing. You can do that instead of eating. Going on a beautiful bike ride in an area where you can see like all the leaves and stuff because, it's not too hot, it's not too cold. So having a nice little fall bike ride, that's another example of getting in a fall mood without being a beluga. And something else I like to do is doing healthy food swaps. So instead of having an apple pie, for example, maybe I will have apple slices with a sprinkle of cinnamon on them and maybe like a small drizzle of honey on there. So that's an example of creating a dessert. So I'm still getting the same flavors of that dessert but without the calories. Also, when it came to learning my triggers, that really helped me a lot because I realized I learned this last year actually that cold weather is one of the triggers for me. So if it's snowing outside, if it's super cold and like frigid and I don't want to go outside, that actually triggers me to want more carbs. Like psychologically, it triggers me. It's not because I'm hungry, it's because I associate being cold with, oh, I want something hot and filling. I want like a home cooked meal. So for some of you guys, you're not hungry, you are just triggered. You're not hungry, it's just a psychological association. You've been trained to associate cold weather with, oh, I got to eat something hearty. I have to eat some potatoes or something a little heavier because it's so cold outside. And, sitting here with my hot chocolate and my roasted marshmallows, that's going to make me feel warmth. So that's more of a psychological thing. Your body is not craving chocolate. And if it is craving that, then you have to work on that. And by the way, part of how you cure cravings and random hunger is upping your protein, having healthy fats, because that really helps you to feel more satisfied. Or you can just eliminate sugar altogether if you're really a badass. Just eliminate sugar, and then your body, it's not even in your body anymore. But a lot of the overeating that you see during the fall and winter, that is just societal conditioning. So society has taught us that Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, if you have a fall birthday, it's teaching you that eating is the main way of celebrating. So that's just psychological conditioning. Just because the rest of society likes to celebrate the holidays by eating tens of thousands of calories, that doesn't mean you have to do that. You are not like everyone. They're not like us. That's why they're belugas, and that's why we are slim and healthy. It's because we don't fall for the psychological trap of, oh, well, you should just listen to this Christmas music and you should eat all these Christmas cookies. They're promoting emotional eating, just so you know. Society and marketing and advertising, all these companies, they promote emotional eating because that's how they make their money. They make their money by convincing you that the only way to feel Christmassy or to feel festive is by drinking their latte. That's how they make their money. And there's a reason why they only sell it during the fall. They're only doing pumpkin spice during the fall because they know if they were to sell it year round, it wouldn't be as popular. They're trying to create scarcity mindset. They want to create a build-up, so like you look forward to the pumpkin spice lattes coming in season. They want you to look forward to all of the new fancy donuts coming into the bakery with the orange frosting and stuff. So all of that is just marketing tactics. And they'll try to sell these big ass bags of candy at the grocery store like, oh, it's for the kids who are trick-or-treating. You know damn well most kids don't just trick-or-treat in random neighborhoods anymore. They're not going to come and knock on your apartment door. And if they do, it might be one or two children at best. So no, that's all just marketing. It's marketing. They're trying to convince you that you have to have this big bag of candy. And then you buy the candy because you're convincing yourself, oh, it's just for the kids. Okay, then why did you buy your favorite candy then, which is Snickers? If it's for the kids, you could have just bought whatever nasty ass, cheap ass candy they had. Why did you specifically go for the Snickers? It's because deep down inside, you are going to snack on the Snickers. So I see a lot of people, they're making the excuse, oh, these cookies and bagels and all that, it's for the kids, it's just a snack for them, but then they end up eating it. They end up snacking on it themselves. So no, I'm not falling for the marketing. A lot of people are belugas because they are followers. Just because it's socially acceptable to eat a bunch of candy during Halloween, that doesn't mean I want to do that. First of all, I don't want to have a whole bunch of cavities. I don't want a dusty ass mouth with like rotting teeth. That is not cute. So no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put sugar and bacteria in my mouth to the point where now my teeth have holes in them and I have to go pay hundreds of dollars at a dentist. So sometimes things are socially acceptable, but it doesn't mean that it's for the best. It doesn't mean that it's healthy. It doesn't mean it's going to help you. And another thing too is party culture. So during the holidays, that's when more people start getting together. You know, they have their Thanksgiving dinners, or Friendsgiving if you have a group of friends. So depending on how many people you socialize with, you may find yourself having several different events. Like you have several Christmas parties. There's the office Christmas party, there's the church Christmas party, there's the PTA Christmas party. So you got all these different parties because it's socially acceptable to like go to all these parties and to eat all the food. But it's like, just because I'm at the party, that doesn't mean I have to eat the food. There's a reason why when you go to parties, they have small plates. They're little tiny small plates. You know, there's a reason why they have hors d'oeuvres with toothpicks on them, because you're supposed to just eat a small serving of it. But what a lot of belugas do is they get 3, 4, 5 different toothpick items. And it's like, okay, you just upped your calories. You just ate 1,000 calories. You ate 1,000 calories because you didn't want to talk. A lot of people eat because they have social anxiety. They don't want to talk to people at the office party. They don't want to play the games because they don't want to look stupid or whatever. So instead, they just stand in the corner and eat. No. How about you learn how to dance, learn how to talk to people, learn social skills so that when you go to the parties, then you can do other activities besides hovering over the food. When you're at the party, you don't have to eat. Go to the photo booth. Go to the little selfie stand where they have, where you can take pictures and stuff. Take pictures with your friends. Get some content for your social media if you're a content creator. Go and meet somebody new. Go and network. Go ask somebody how they're doing. Go participate in the games. Those are all different options besides just eating food. Another thing too is you can leave early. I don't stay at a party for the whole time. Just because the party lasts for 5 hours, that doesn't mean I have to stay for 5 hours. No, I can go there, I can stay for an hour and a half, and then when it's time to go, then I just leave. Because sometimes if you stay at a place for a super long time, then you do get bored. And a lot of people don't want to admit that. You get bored when it's Christmas Day or when it's Thanksgiving or whatever, and you're just sitting there with your family. For some people, they do get bored, and so that's why they end up eating. They're like, oh, I'm bored, so yeah, I'll try the cookies. Yeah, let me try this other dessert. Yeah, let me get a second plate. So they're eating out of boredom, or they're eating out of anxiety, or they're eating as a form of escape. They don't really want to be there. They don't want to be at the work party. They're only going to that party out of obligation. So what I will do is I will actually leave. I will tell them, okay, well, it was good seeing you guys. I have to head out. And if somebody gets mad, they're cut off. They're blocked. How you like them apples? Now you're blocked. So I don't ever have to worry again about you berating me because I left the party early. If you're standing around eating at a party, it's because you're not the life of the party. That's why. You're not the life of the party. The food is the life of the party. The calories and the fat and the sugar is the life of the party. So it's like, no, I'm not going to fall into the background of my own life. I'm not just going to stand in the corner like a beluga, just munching on cheese wheels and cheese balls and olives and toothpicks and pickles. I'm not just going to sit there munching on cake and cookies, crumbs all over my mouth. I'm over here trying to wear lip gloss. I've got gunk stuck to my lips. I've got crumbs all over my face. No, that's not cute. That's not how I want to represent myself. But another propaganda that they have during the holidays is people have been socialized to offer food as a form of love. So that's why, like, your coworkers and stuff, they offer you candy, they offer you sweets. They're trying to show love towards you. So it doesn't mean they're a bad person. Like, that's very nice. But you have to understand that's just their socialization. They're just doing what they've been socialized to do. So what you can do is if somebody offers you a plate to take home or something, or if they offer you snacks at work, you can take the snacks, you just don't eat them right now. You just save them for tomorrow, or you go put it in the fridge. You eat leftovers. A lot of people are fat because they won't eat leftovers. They have to eat everything today. Oh, my coworker brought in some apple pie, so, let me have 2 or 3 slices in one day. You know damn well that that's not how you normally eat. So sometimes people will overeat because they're trying to flatter the person that gave them the food. Like, oh, I want to show her that her apple pie is good. So, like, let me eat a slice right now and then let me eat another slice later. Because, that's my way of kind of subconsciously showing that I'm grateful for the food. No, I don't have to prove myself to others. I don't have to prove that your food is good. Other people, have you ever been around those types of people? Those types of women get on my nerves, where they cook for you and it's like they're seeking your validation. They're cooking so they can seek my validation. Like, oh, did you try it? Did you eat it? What'd you think of it? Oh, do you want another slice? Here, have another slice. Oh, no, thanks. No, I insist. Have another slice. So it's like they're trying to seek your validation. They want you to feel like, oh my God, Mary's cooking is so good. I had to have more. So it's a validation seeking tactic. They're trying to gain popularity by cooking for everybody in the office. They're trying to gain popularity or approval in the family by cooking all this food and then trying to push the food onto you. They're trying to pressure you to eat 3 or 4 plates. And then they get to brag later on and say, oh yeah, all of my apple pie is gone because, the whole office ate it. They ate the whole thing within one day. So they're using it as a badge of honor that they made people fat. It's a badge of honor that I fed the office 10,000 calories worth of poison and sugar. Oh my gosh, I'm such a great cook. And then 3 months later, during New Year's, the same people in the office are trying to lose weight. And then they'll be like, oh, hey, did you see the step counting challenge? Did you see that, we're doing a fitness challenge? Whichever department loses the most weight, they get a prize. And it's like, Martha, you literally just caused the whole office to gain 15 pounds over Christmas. So of course our department is going to lose the competition. So it's like, they're hypocrites. Most people are hypocrites, is what I'm trying to say. So you don't want to follow what everybody else is doing. All those people at that party that you're going to, all those people eating all the Christmas cookies, eating all the fall cinnamon rolls and stuff, drinking the cinnamon dolce latte every single day, they're gaining weight. They are not in a calorie deficit. They are in a calorie surplus a lot of times. So that's why you see them getting bigger and bigger. Those same people, I dare you to start tracking them. And then 3 months from now, come back on this channel and tell me that they're losing weight. I swear, that's what they're going to do. They're eating like a beluga in October, November, December. Those are the 3 beluga months. It's beluga season right now. It's my favorite season, but it's also beluga season. So they're eating like belugas, and I guarantee as soon as January 1st hits, oh, hey, good morning. How was your weekend? Oh, it was good. I just signed up for the gym. Oh, I just signed up for a half marathon. Oh, I just signed up for a triathlon. Why? Oh, because I need to lose 50 pounds. So most people, they're literally self-sabotaging themselves. I'm not going to eat my own sabotage. I'm not going to eat to my demise. I'm not doing that. Because I want to stay skinny and pretty all year round. This is not, oh, I'm going to be a beluga, I'm going to be disciplined for 9 months, and then October, November, December, suddenly I eat like a whale, and then January I try to clean it up. I try to get it back to where I was last year. No, I'm not doing that. How many times do you have to play catch up? How many mistakes do you have to make until you finally decide, hey, I'm going to have discipline? And it's not like you can't eat the cookies and stuff. It's just that you have to know how to portion control. Most people don't know how to portion control. And that's why they're offering you 2 and 3 plates. And have you ever had somebody come into the office where it's like she wants to lose weight, and so, she brought in some ice cream or some cake or some pie for the whole office to eat? It's like, wow, you sabotaging ass bitch. So you don't want to eat the fattening food, but you want to give it to me. People used to do that to me at my old jobs. They'd be like, oh, give it to Exoticals United. She's skinny. She's young and skinny, so just give her all the candy. And it's like, wow. So you're admitting that this is unhealthy and it's going to sabotage my body. And what you're saying is, I don't want to sabotage myself, so let me just sabotage you. You could handle a couple of extra pounds. I've been told that before too. Oh, you could eat a couple of extra burgers. So, here, go ahead and have some extra. So it's like they don't realize that they're literally admitting that they're trying to sabotage your weight loss goals. Or sometimes people will try to say like, oh, you're too skinny, you can eat as many cookies as you want, you're still going to be skinny. That's false. That is scientifically false. That's scientifically false, Martha. If I eat 10 cookies every day for the rest of my life, I am not going to be as healthy and skinny as I am right now. So oftentimes the phrases that they're telling you are also BS. Oh, you could eat a couple of burgers, you could eat a couple of extra calories, you're still going to be skinny. Okay, but you don't know my body goals. You don't know what size I want to be. Maybe I want to be skinny without having a big stomach. Maybe I want to be skinny without looking bloated. So that's another thing too, is we have been socialized to comment on thin women's bodies like, oh, it's no big deal, you could eat a little bit extra. And it's like, no, you don't get to tell me what my body goals are. And then another thing they'll do too is they'll be like, oh, but it's Christmas. Oh, but it's Thanksgiving. Oh, but it's Halloween. Just have a little fun. Just let loose. Let loose every once in a while. So now they're trying to create a standard for what letting loose means. To them, letting loose means overeating. And it's like, no, there are other ways that I can let loose during the holidays. I can wear something festive to work. You know how they have like the reindeer ears? It's like a headband that you put on, or they have like those funky glasses that are like really funny looking. I can wear those to the office. That's me being festive. That's me still celebrating the season, but I'm celebrating it in a different way. I'm expressing myself differently. Being thin, you're expressing yourself differently when it comes to your diet, and that's okay. You don't have to follow what everybody else is doing. Look at the women in your office. Look at their bodies. Do you want your body to look like that? Do you want your body to look like Gertrude from accounting? One of the things that I've done before, and this is going to sound bad, but like I told you guys about my obese, she was like a manager, and I used to observe what she would eat, and it helped me to realize what not to do. I was like, wow, she eats processed food 3 times a day at work, and we're only working until like, what, 4 p.m., 4:30? So it's like she's eating pizza pockets and hot pockets and pizza rolls for breakfast. So that's not a very good breakfast. It's high sugar, high fat, very high sodium. So all you have to do is just look at the people whose bodies you do not want and just do the opposite. So if everybody around me is overeating on Halloween and they're constantly carrying candy, have you ever been around people like that where maybe they have kids or maybe they got a whole bunch of candy on Halloween, then they try to bring it into the office, or they're just carrying candy and, that's going to be a part of their lunch for the next 90 days. I'm not doing that. I don't do that anymore. When I was a Beluga, I used to do that. I'd be like, oh, I can just use this for my lunch. I have candy for the rest of the year now. Ma'am, that's not a good thing. It's like, okay, no wonder I was gaining weight, because I was looking at it like, oh, I want to plan out the candy I'm eating. It's hilarious how people will plan out the unhealthy foods they're going to eat. They're like, oh, I can't wait till Thanksgiving. I'm going to have pumpkin pie. I'm going to have this. But then they don't want to plan out the healthy foods. How about I just make every day a holiday? And I actually love turkey. So I eat turkey all the time. I don't have to wait until Thanksgiving or Christmas. So having the good foods all the time, it helps me to get rid of the scarcity mindset. I have pumpkin flavored stuff at home. I have turkey at home. The dressing or the stuffing, I have made that at home before. So that way I'm not so like overhyped when it comes to these foods, because, I'm no longer associating it with, oh, I only have this once a year. And another thing too is that your food that you eat around the holidays, that's often tied to your ethnicity. So for example, if you're Mexican, maybe you eat certain Mexican foods. If you're African American, you have soul food. So the way that you can solve that scarcity mindset is start doing that once a month. Like I just recently decided, okay, I'm going to have these special festive foods once a month. I'm going to order it at a restaurant, and then I'm going to meal prep it for the whole week, so that by the time the holidays come in a month or two, I'm not over here like, oh my God, I have to eat everything. I have to eat all the fried chicken. I have to eat all the collard greens. I have to eat all the tamales, everything. No, I don't have to eat everything, because I've been gradually having it and meal prepping it for the past 3 months. So there is no scarcity mindset where it's like, oh, I only have access to this really good food for a couple of months. And another thing too is people complain about groceries. They'll be like, oh, well, it's expensive to get healthy groceries. Do you know how much it costs to buy an entire Thanksgiving meal that you have to cook? That costs a lot of money. That's like a good, $250 to get all the ingredients for everything you need to make for you and your entire family. So you're literally complaining, saying that eating healthy, oh, it costs $250, but then you're spending $250 on your holiday foods, or you're spending $500 to get on a plane So you can go visit your family and eat like a beluga. So do you see the financial mismatch? Do you see the hypocrisy there? So you're willing to invest money in order to people please. You're going to these holiday parties that you don't even want to go to. You're paying money for foods that are not helping you, but then when it comes to your everyday life and who you are for the rest of the year, the majority of the year is not holidays. The majority of the year is not fall and winter. And to be honest, I don't even believe living my life in a seasonal way where I'm always trying to catch up. Because what happens is people screw themselves over right now, fall, and then they get totally messed up, they gain weight, and then they try to come back January and they're like, "Oh, I got to get ready for summer." So it's like I'm not going to live my life in this generational curse and this cycle where every fall I sabotage myself, every winter I try to hide my fat, and then every spring I'm trying to do a comeback. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go through that same cycle where it's like I'm rushing, I'm trying to catch up. Oh, only 90 days until summer. Only 90 days until I'm at the beach. No, I want to have a beach body all year round. And again, that's marketing. The whole summer beach body thing, that's the fitness companies, the protein shake companies, the companies that make the protein shakes, the supplements, or they make all these healthy foods. That's those companies now marketing to you. So do you see how smart they actually are? Do you see how capitalism works? Do you see how capitalism contributes to weight gain? So you got all of these companies like Starbucks advertising to you during the fall and winter, oh, get these cinnamon dolce lattes, get the pumpkin spice lattes. And then in the spring and summer, now you've got GNC and all these different, Planet Fitness, all these other companies saying, oh no, you fucked up during the fall and winter, so now you need to come and sign up for my gym. You got Orange Theory, they're like, now you need to come and sign up for these Pilates classes. Now you need to come and pay $200 to become a member. It's time for you to lose that weight that you gained over Christmas. So do you see how your weight progress or lack of progress is directly correlated to the types of advertisements you're getting? Okay, I'm going on a tangent now. But going back to getting in the fall mood, something else I will do is I will create a fall themed playlist. Well, they already have them created on Apple, like on iTunes or whatever. You can just listen to those. That's a good way to get into a fall mood without eating because it's based on music. You can play the fall themed music and then you can do a fall themed self-care routine. So like washing your body in the shower with this vanilla scented or cinnamon scented body wash, maybe putting on some lotion that has kind of this fall scent. And then you got the fall music playing in the background. Maybe you can light a fall candle as well. So all of that, those are all different ways to be festive where you're not sabotaging yourself. You can watch tutorials, how to do fall makeup, how to do a fall manicure, how to do different hairstyles. For those of you who have certain hair textures where, maybe in the fall you like to wear your hair straight or you have a certain protective style you do, you can start researching that. Like how to do that hairstyle at home or what salon can I go to. There are so many different hobbies that you can have other than just eating. In fact, if you go on Pinterest, you can look on there and they have what's called like a fall bucket list. They have all these different images of different fall bucket list things that you can do. And most of the time it doesn't have anything to do with eating. But a lot of people stay fat because they have nothing to look forward to. So for example, you may want to journal about, okay, what do I have to look forward to in the next 6 months? Because the reason some people stay fat, especially during winter, they'll be like, oh, well, it's cold anyway. I'm not going anywhere anyway. Well, I'm going to be covered up anyway. I'm wearing a big coat anyway. And it's like, okay, tell me you're dusty without telling me you're dusty. So you're saying you're just going to be locked up in your house. You have nowhere to go, no friends, nothing to do. You're not volunteering. You're not helping the community. No promotions coming up. No big interviews coming up. So you're just not doing shit. So you're admitting that you're literally living the life of a loser. And I mean, I'm not trying to call you a loser, but I'm just saying that's really what they're admitting. They're admitting that they have almost like this loser mindset as opposed to a level up mindset. So what I try to do is I will literally journal what I'm looking forward to. Like, okay, I have this job interview coming up, or I want to launch a different part of my business. So all of your goals, you want to tie your weight loss goals to that. So for example, if you had the perfect body tomorrow, what would you be doing? Oh, I would be modeling, so okay, that's something to look forward to. Hey, I'm going to cut weight, or I'm going to get rid of all this excess fat. And then on January 1st, I'm going to sign up for a swimsuit modeling thing, or like, those little bodybuilding things, or I'm going to apply for an acting job. I'm going to audition for a musical. So a lot of the people who struggle with their weight, it's deeper than just struggling with their weight. They're struggling with their purpose. Their purpose, they don't have a great enough sense of purpose to where they feel the need to be healthy because they don't care. Obviously, they don't care about their health or they don't care about their lives because they don't have anything in their life to look forward to. So, what you can do is you can create things to look forward to, you can write down different ideas. And the way you can get started is by thinking about, okay, if I had the perfect body tomorrow, what would I do? Would I go back to singing again and like get on stage and start doing gigs? For some of you guys, you have different talents and stuff, and maybe you haven't done it because you have the fear of being seen. Maybe like that happened to me where it's like, I didn't want to be seen after I had gained weight. So I stopped taking pictures. Like, there are no pictures of me. That was actually smart though. But it's like, I didn't want to take pictures. I didn't want to be seen at that time. So for some of you guys, your weight is holding you back from doing whatever it is you really wanted to do. So you can start writing down, hey, if I had the perfect body tomorrow, I would do a marathon. I would do a triathlon. I would start a business. I would start my jewelry line. I would go out for modeling. I would do acting. I would start dating. I would start singing again. Whatever it is that you've always wanted to do. I will go into a different field where maybe my looks matter a little bit more. For some of you guys, maybe you want to get into sales. You want to do real estate. You want to do I don't know, something that involves being seen, like TV hosting or something. I don't know. So you can start writing those things down, and those are the things you have to look forward to. That's something that always helped me, was imagining the type of lifestyle I will live at this smaller weight. Oh, once I lose weight, I'm going to actually have the courage to make friends. Because I see a lot of women online who are obese, they'll talk about how their friendships were affected negatively, or how like they felt like they didn't fit in with skinny girls, or they felt like people didn't prioritize them in terms of friendship. So that's something simple that you can look forward to when it comes to losing weight. Like, hey, once I lose weight, I'm going to start going to these book clubs. I'm going to start going to these women's groups in my city, and then I'm going to make friends, and I'm going to develop a friend group. Once I lose weight, I'm going to explore the city more because I don't have a fear of being seen anymore. I'm going to wear cute outfits, and I'm going to go out by myself more often. You know how they say, like, you should go out by yourself, take yourself out on a date? When I was a beluga, I didn't want to go out by myself anywhere. Why would I want to go out by myself? Going out was a trigger for me. Going to the mall was a trigger. Because when I was in the mall, I would see hundreds, if not thousands, of girls who had the body type that I wanted to have. And then I would just be walking past all of these stores with these mannequins with these bodies that don't look like mine. So if anything, that was a trigger to insecurity. So what you can do if you're like suffering with the insecurity is start to write down, like, how would my life look if I had the body I wanted? What would I do? What can I look forward to? Is it going to the mall without feeling triggered? Is it going and purchasing a dress, being able to get something off the mannequin? You're able to get something without trying it on. That's one of the biggest, that is one of the biggest things that I love. Ever since I got super slim again, I love being able to order a shirt online from Fashion Nova for like $3. And it's like a super cute shirt on the picture, and then I try it on and it fits perfectly. I look exactly like the model in the picture because her body was the same as mine. So that's one of the most convenient things about having a body that's thin and healthy and proportionate. So you can just start writing down your goals. Like, this is how I will feel as a slim woman. This is what it would be like. Maybe you wanted to start a YouTube channel or something. You wanted to start a TikTok. You wanted to do hair videos, but then you didn't do it because your face looks too bloated. Or, your double chin is showing or whatever. Or your boobs are knocking over the camera. You're not knocking over the tripod with your boobs. So writing down small things like those, or thinking about the small micro insecurities that you'll no longer have, that is motivation enough. So no, I'm not going to let a pumpkin spice latte come between that. If that means I have to purchase sugar-free pumpkin spice syrup to make my latte, then so be it. If that means I have to learn how to dance so I can dance at the party instead of eating all day at the party, then so be it. And by the way, dancing is a great thing to do at parties because you're burning calories, you're moving your body. So that's a great hobby. It's like a form of movement. You're getting that endorphin. You're getting endorphins without having to eat. You're getting a dopamine hit without having to eat. It's a form of body positivity. All these people talking shit saying, oh, you got to be body positive. Okay, dancing at a party and burning calories instead of eating all the calories, that is a form of body positivity. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.